FA Cup 4th round, Derby County, and I'm hoping we get a good team out. We've got to treat Derby with a bit of respect. They'll be a confident team, even though they're in the 3rd tier, because they're winning a lot of games. I think they're sitting about 4th now in League One, and their tails, they'll probably be looking forward to it. Probably got a small squad as well, so they'll be putting out a good team. They'll want to make a statement. You know, Derby are a proud old club, won the cup in the past, and while the league is you know, their most important, they'll be wanting to put a good show on, I think, in a good banged out Pride Park. Nice little stadium they've got there. Us, I think, we'll be putting out probably cup teams. You'll see the likes of Areola, Ben Johnson, Souček, Flynn Downs. Up front, we've got to go with Antonio. Though hopefully Mubama will be on the bench after his continued goal scoring exploits, where he started in the under-18s, been moved up into the under-21s, and still scored, though he did play Friday. So hopefully he'll get 10-15 minutes. Hopefully the game will beat the bed, but if not, I don't think it will be. I think it'll be a tight game, to be honest. Possibly even go into a replay. Yes, people, replays still in the FA Cup at the moment. Up until I think this is the last chance. I think from the 5th round onwards, there's no replays now. And I expect to see that change in the coming years, where they'll probably scrap replays altogether. I hope West Ham take it seriously. I hope we look at trying to win the thing. It's 100 years since West Ham and Wembley was at the first FA Cup final against Bolton Wanderers, and it would be great to see that the fact that the FA Cup's still the only cup that West Ham's won that's still played, because they don't play the Cup Winners' Cup no more, and they thankfully gave up on the Intertoto Cup as well. Oh, I don't like to claim that as a win, but we will for now. And wouldn't it be great to go to Wembley 100 years on from where our grandfathers and great-grandfathers all piled up there, over 200,000 people there that day, they claim, for the Whitehall's final. Just to let you know, I've got some special videos coming up to mark that centenary, which is in April. So keep an eye out on here, and hopefully we'll progress into the 5th round. And see you next time. Ta-da, people.
We're reaching the climax of the 4th round of the FA Cup, and West Ham go to Derby County on Monday night for what could be a potential banana skin. We haven't had any real sort of major upsets so far in the FA Cup in the 4th round. So cue West Ham, the last game of the 4th round, going to Derby County, and what could go wrong? Derby County, really decent team, really decent history. Champions of the Premier League, or the back then was Division 1 a couple of times. They've been winners of the FA Cup as well. They've been involved in Europe a little bit as well. And they're a team that should be seeing better days. And I think they're definitely on their way to doing so. They're doing fantastically well in League One at the moment. I don't think they've been beaten for the last 16 games, something like that, in all competitions. And they're a force to be reckoned with. And they're going to be up for it tonight. Of course, their focus is undoubtedly on the league. They want to get promoted, or they want to get into the playoffs at the very least. So it's understandable that they might have one eye on that. But I don't doubt for 1 minute that they're going to put out all the stops against West Ham United tonight. And they're a team that, with their history, I hope they do well. I hope they make their way back into the Premier League so West Ham can visit them on a regular basis. With regards to tonight, I'm kind of expecting to see a mix of players who don't get a lot of game time. I guess Areola will be in goal. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a back three of, say, Johnson, Agerd and Creswell, with wing backs of maybe Kehrer and Emerson on the left side. And then you'll probably see Declan alongside Downs in the middle. And then I think we'll see Bowen up front with Fornals and possibly Benrahma. You're going to see players who are not getting a lot of Premier League game time that are going to be playing tonight. Nanzini as well, as an example. But I do expect at some point in the game, whether we're winning or losing or drawing, I do expect to see Divin Mubama get some game time. He's such a prolific young lad. And Moises, You know, when Moyes talks about youngsters and he says he's not quite there yet, but I want to get him involved if I can, etc., etc. Mate, just put him in. Because if we're chasing the game, he might be our match winner. If we're winning the game, he might come on and score another goal just to seal the tie. It doesn't matter. If we're chasing it, just because we might be chasing the game doesn't mean that someone like Divin Mubama can't come in and potentially be our match winner. So use him. Have faith. I hope he does well. I hope Mubama gets more than 5 minutes game time. I remember when we were playing in the cup competitions a couple of seasons ago when Odubeko came on against Man United. Odubeko came on as a sub. I think he got about half an hour. Then he was taken off in extra time. We don't have extra time tonight. I hope Mubama gets at least half an hour, 20 minutes, enough time to actually demonstrate what he might be capable of. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I really am. And I hope we get to see him play. Other youngsters, I don't know. Perhaps maybe Swire, who's also an attacking player, might be given a bit of game time, but probably less so than Mubama. I'm going for a result. I'm going for a 3-1 win to West Ham, but it ain't going to be easy. That scoreline is not going to suggest that it was easy. So I'm on my way. I'm making my way down there. Should get down there for around about 6:30 or so. And let's see what happens. Come on, you Irons.
Well, it's FA Cup day, and we've got ourselves a derby. Not the normal London derbies. Derby County away. So West Ham are taking just under 5,000 fans up there, which sold out at just 8 points. So pretty loyal support for a Monday night, travelling up all the way to the Midlands. I think that's where Derby is, isn't it? Just above the Midlands. It's been a few years since I've had any interaction with Derby, but one of my memories was when I used to go up from Cornwall to watch Plymouth sometimes play, and it was a Tuesday night and Derby came down and their hooligan fraction decided to run riot through Plymouth. That was a bit of fun, but you don't see those days, not in the Premiership much anymore, but let's see what Derby do on the day. Looking forward to it. It'd be interesting to see what team he puts out. I don't think there's any youth players left. So much for the Red Bull model that we keep on hearing loads about. But hopefully Mbamba will play. I mean, he scored a good goal against the Chelsea youth the other night, which West Ham won 3-2, which was a good result. So yeah, maybe we'll see him. But I'm also hoping that maybe with the defensive problems we've got, he will look at dropping Declan back into defence along with Aguirre and Agbonna. That would be good. He ain't going to do that though, is he? Because then he could put Flynn Downs in the middle and Paqueta and Fornells. And then I would stick Bowen up front, Antonio on the right and Benny on the left. Areola in goal. He's been paid £120,000 a week, so maybe David Moyes thinks he might need to earn his money. Not Areola's fault by any stretch of the imagination. I was glad we turned down the bid for him as well, because he really is a good goalie. Not saying Fabianski's done anything wrong, but I would really like to see Areola being given more of a chance. If David Moyes loses, and if he loses against Newcastle, I think he's out again. And this is what we're going to have now for the next 2 or 3 months. 2 games, 2 games, 2 games where he could or couldn't lose his job. But we shall see. Anyway, I'm predicting a 2-0 win. Come on, you Irons.
Good morning. I'm up on the roof with Starlink, as you can see, in southwest London this morning, and it's FA Cup day in Derby. I'm not going to Derby because I wasn't lucky in the ballot, but you know, the magic of the FA Cup. What do we reckon? Well, I'll be watching it instead of podcasting. I'm going to talk to the podcast boys whether we record at full time, or whether we record tomorrow. But look, on paper, we should walk this. What could possibly go wrong the West Ham way? So I'm going to go for a prediction of 1-0 to the Hammers. Come on, you Irons.